Yeah, I mean, it could be a little misleading if you don't know like what an ad looks like on Google. You know, like you can very easily kind of just think that it's the first result. But like you said, AJ, perfect point is like even if you do a week's worth of advertising and you generate like a ton of traffic through that, that traffic is now helping you boost your reputation like in the web. So then you're still going to show up, like you said, you've been showing up on like the top spot because you had all that traffic through the ad. So if you were driving traffic through the ad and then cut the ad, you still have all that traffic that's kind of giving you a little bit of momentum, and then it's almost like hacking the system a little bit so you can like not have to pay all this money and then still get the benefits of showing up first.
And because the people didn't know like what they were doing, like all the people stayed on the page, so we didn't get like a high bounce rate from it. So that also helped, and a lot of the people called through the ad, which helped because it led to a conversion. So it tricked Google into thinking
that's an awesome
that my ad was actually relevant, and which it was relevant because I was hoping to get people like searching for the municipal court and then being like, oh shit, here's an attorney, maybe I'll call him. But I just got mostly people that were just like calling about like when's my court date or like are you the borough attorney, like most it was just a bad like the audience didn't want to hire.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty much. So.
Yeah, I mean, so like Google will typically, I mean, like you're saying, like since they're converting, you're getting rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Because like the opposite is true, where if you're irrelevant, then you'll get penalized, and like your ad will be super expensive because like you're diminishing the Google experience for everyone. But in this case, like you really tricked them all the way through until they actually called you up, and like they're staying on your website and everything. They're not bouncing, like you said.
And some people called twice because they just don't understand.
So you got like double juice.
How ads work. So
right.
It seemed like it was really relevant, I guess, and for a while after, we were, up there. I had to actually change some of the keywords on my site to drop down because I didn't want, it wasn't driving relevant traffic, and I didn't want people to keep calling me asking, speak to the municipal court clerk.
Right.
So I had to take out a few keywords temporarily and then put them back in.
You should have set up just like a forwarding system, like just like press 1 if you're looking for the court, and then like you're now funneling all these calls like to the government.
That wouldn't have been a bad idea. Because I still think like if I got the right people to see it, because obviously, people are looking for the municipal court. They either got some sort of summons,
So did you change it? Like, did you find success after you changed it up a little bit, or no?
I just switched out of advertising for municipal. So I do it like per page usually, and also too, we have like a Google rep that helps us. If you spend over a certain amount of money, Google sends you a person, and they just call you and tell you some stuff like, oh, you should do this, and this. And I'm just like, just tell me how to get number 1 organically on the search.
You know what? I think they don't even know.
No, they don't. So they can tell you certain things. Like, he can tell me pieces. Like, he can tell me that Google puts a lot of weight on, like, if you have www.montvilleNJlawyer.com as your domain, they'll put a lot of weight on that.
Like, they want the www?
Yeah, and the .com, but the stuff in it. So, like, if someone types in Montville NJ Lawyer, and that's my domain name, I'm already, without doing much search engine optimization, I'm already boosted to the top.
Just because of the domain, yeah.
Same with the title. Also to the next, I guess he told me, and this is what he told me, I don't know if he knows or not, but that kind of makes sense, the .coms and stuff like that. And I've seen people use multiple .coms to get higher up, so different attorneys will use, like, for one office, Bergen County Attorney, and for the other office, Montville NJ Attorney. And on the page, he told me that probably the most important stuff is not in the body, but the header and the footer.
Oh, interesting.
So he told me that Google puts a lot of weight, on the header and the footer in determining if it's relevant. So we put our visible text. That's what he told me, because it's most likely not relevant if it's not being displayed. Or, the consumer doesn't know it's relevant if they can't see it.
Yeah. I mean, the only place now that I know of, like, meta information being really valuable are things like podcasts. like they don't go scraping your entire podcast like for everything that you're saying. So like you give it a meta description that's technically not visible, but you're kind of like describing what was talked about in the podcast. Then that's how they pick that up. But like it makes a lot more sense with a podcast than with the website. Like the website has content that you can display. So like that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, and so also he told me though the only where that invisible text is relevant is like the alternate text on your images.
I was about to say that, yeah.
People can't see images, so that's where it becomes relevant, and you could sneak in those, you know.
AJ, you should like present one day here. This is great. Yeah, so you're exactly right on that too. So when you're like uploading an image to the website, basically it's called the alt tag, and it's called that because what it's technically used for is for accessibility. So like if you're blind, then instead of seeing an image, you'll get like read a description of what the image is, and that is input by the user. So then Google also uses that, not for just accessibility, but for also understanding what the image is of. So like, you know, if there was a selfie of me, I would be like, you know, portrait photo of Nick Calabro, and then now Google knows like, okay, you know, there's a picture of Nick on there, so then if someone's searching for like a picture of Nick, they might get taken to that page because the image is on there.
That helps too for like marketing. So like, let's say I take a picture with a bunch of other attorneys, I put all their names in the alternate text, so that when someone searches for them, I'll also come up under that page where that image is. Same thing, you know, for you guys, you should do that if you take any pictures, other people, competitors, whoever it may be, and they should do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
You know, because it just makes sense, you know.
Yeah, so we definitely, kind of the big things that we focus on, like you said, the heading text is like, or no, not the heading text, but like the title text is like huge. Alt tags like that, and heading text, like if you're in a blog post, you have like heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, all the way down to 6. So like those 6 kind of types of heading are also really looked at as well. And it's so easy to just like upload a ton of photos and not add alt text. Like I see pretty often people are like not even bothering putting anything there, and it's pretty much just like a missed opportunity. So that's like a pretty easy way to like kind of boost your ranking a little bit.
I got a question.
Yeah.
If I take an article written by someone else, is it better to utilize their information, their name, or is it better to rewrite it and use it as my information, my article?
I love this. Okay, so you're trying to basically hijack someone's content,
which I have printed out.
Okay.
But instead of giving them credit and their name and so forth, is it better to rewrite it and use my own content?
So it's actually a pretty good question. It's a great question, actually. So what'll happen there is, if you want to credit them, I say credit them, and there's a proper way to do it by telling Google that you are not the source of that post, but that this person is at this URL.
But is that better? Because I don't want people to start looking them up.
Right, they're going to find them then.
Exactly.
But if you want to hijack the content, I mean, the kind of dirty little secret that I would share is just rewrite it. Like,
exactly.
Rewrite it in like your words.
Exactly.
Have like, honestly, take like the same headings and just like, yeah, just like rewrite it enough, like, you know, like when you're copying someone's homework, but like you're making it a little different so like they can't tell that you like copied it. Like just do that.
Yeah, I was going to give it to a VA on Fiverr or something like that.
Yeah, perfect. And then, yeah, you're kind of putting your like spin on it, your personality and whatnot, and then Google will see that as 2 separate articles. And then if yours performs better, then yours will beat out that other one. Meanwhile, you kind of jacked it from the other person. Which
I
is
see the advantage of mentioning his name and so forth.
Okay, so that's another good. I mean, there is value in sharing other people's work, not like that though. So like, say for example, kind of you were on AJ's website and you came across like a really great blog post that he wrote about a case that he worked on about like a flipping house or whatever. I'm just making crap up, but like go with it. And then now AJ's site performs very well, right? And now you're linking to AJ's site in your blog post. Google will see that, okay, like he's referencing valuable information, people are clicking through to him, and then AJ's going to get a little boost and you're going to get a boost because your link is relevant and AJ's site is like the good fit there. So it's like, it's okay to like share some of the spotlight and spread links to other websites. Don't think of it as like you taking traffic away from yourself and giving it to AJ. Think of it as you're providing value to a user. And if that link is valuable, then Google will recognize that and help you.
I understand Google's point of view, but I'm saying if I take AJ's information and rewrite it, rework it, so it's my content.
Right.
Because otherwise people will see his name, oh, he wrote it, let me...
Yeah, they'll see it as your name now if you rewrote it.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
I just find it sometimes hard to rewrite some blog posts, because some of them are done professionally, not to like provide information,
But to be
more
used
as
as
a
a marketing
tool.
piece,
So they
yeah.
have the strings of keywords that are set up, and if you start rearranging those, it decreases your relevance.
Yeah, but I would
sometimes.
put my keywords in there geographically, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good idea too. Like, basically, you know, if a lot of, yeah, I mean, kind of repurposing it as far as, like, if I'm reading a blog post about someone in Georgia, like, flipping houses, and a lot of that stuff is pretty relevant, but, like, there are some towns mentioned and, like, maybe some esoteric things about, like, that area. Kind of,
Switch it with your town.
yeah, filling it in with your stuff is going to, now Google's going to see it as just like a completely separate article. The difference is that now that article is not going to show up in Georgia because, like, you have all this
Yeah.
content, but that's fine because you only really want people in the area anyway.
That's a good idea to do that, I think, you know?
So the problem then is going to be, the hard part is going to be finding those articles that are, like,
Yeah.
location specific that you can then hijack.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, their information I mean, from this particular situation, they're different attorney, by the way.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But information based upon this information, which is specifically me.
Okay.
What I do.
Then yeah, I think that's. I mean, there's like a right and wrong way to do it, and it sounds like.
It's tough for me to like hijack an article. Well, I can't from another state because then the law sometimes isn't relevant.
Right, right.
So I have to like, if I'm gonna hijack someone's article, I have to do like a piece from each like different article and kind of reword it and make
Yeah.
it my own.
Yeah, I mean, really the best advice here is just to, like, write your own stuff. I mean, like, you know, like, who's gonna, you know, I don't know. But, like, that's, like, another...
Well, the one good thing about writing like a law article is you can copy the statutes because
I
they're
see.
word for word.
Sure.
So that you don't want to change the words in that, so that's okay.
Right, but then I guess, like, it's your interpretation and whatnot that you're able to
Yeah,
have
the
some leeway with.
interpretation and you know just the filler text you put
Mhm.
around it. But yeah, you could copy and paste that stuff, you know, right off the government's website. Just plop it in there and then write, you know,
Right,
this
right.
little article.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways you can twist and turn.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't even need to, like, you know, I don't know what you're writing about, but, you know, like a foreclosure.
Modifications and, you know, what happens when you don't pay your bill, you know, you don't pay certain bills.
Yeah.
You know, it's general.
Jeff, how long is that blog post?
Well, no, I got like 20 different articles.
Oh, okay, so you want to...
each one could be a blog post.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Which is what I want to do.
Okay.
You know, each week I do a blog post myself.
I would suggest, yeah, like, if you find that, like, you're kind of copying and pasting and then kind of switching some stuff around and whatnot, do a word count. If, like, at that point you're only at, like, 1,000 words, just go in there and kind of extrapolate on some stuff. You know, like, kind of maybe give another example, like, add in some fluff and whatnot.
I'm going to go on Fiverr and just find someone.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, tell them to make it 2,000 words. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah, I know. I wrote it. I remember it and wrote it down.
Okay, good. We used to do 1,500. Our blog posts were at least 1,500 words. Now we upped it to 2,000 because there's just so much content out there, and it's like harder to get that top spot. Probably this time next year we'll be making 3,000 word posts. It's true though that, like, so some of the blogs that we work on, we'll have like huge pillar content that's like a whole like college thesis. You know, I'm talking like 5,000 words, and those always perform better. Like, the longer the piece is, the better it performs. It's just like one of the sickest like rules of the internet that I've ever come across because it's like always consistent, but it's true. And so, like, the length is just like a huge factor in all that. So like 2,000 at least, you'll be good.
That makes sense though, because like let's say your post is relevant, someone's really interested. The longer it is, the longer it takes them to read it, the longer they stay on your website,
Yeah, exactly.
the better it looks to, you know.
Yeah. So like they're more engaged with the website, and then they're going to become more of like a fan of you essentially because they're so invested in the website after they're reading this huge post. The common misconception that people sometimes think is like, oh, I can answer this in one paragraph. Let me just make a super simple, not even like curt, but just you know, zippy kind of answer. Like, I can answer it in one sentence, so why don't I? It'll be more convenient for them because now they don't have to read as much. But no, because the trick is that you want to answer that question, whatever it is, and then answer their follow-up questions within the post as well. So like if you're trying to find out like what are like the first steps to flipping a house, maybe you have like a list of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then another section in that same post is going to be like, okay, how do you go through that process now? And then like what do you do after? And now you have like a 5,000 word post, and that's going to be like one of the best pieces of content on the web for that topic, because you didn't just answer the question, but you also answered what they were going to search next. And that's kind of the key when you're writing your stuff. Think to yourself, after this, what are they going to want to learn after that, right? And then make that part of the post as well. And that's like a huge kind of trick that you can use. Plus, just the mere fact that my link is on that site that has more traffic is already going to boost me. You know, and then people that are clicking through and everything, that's just gravy. But like already, I'm going to be performing a little bit better because there are other sites out there that are linking to my site. And Google scrapes all websites like every day, so they know if my link is popping up somewhere. This is also why if people are like tweeting my post or something like that, going on Facebook and stuff like that, those are also boosting you as well. In a blog post, like a guest blog, those are usually much more effective than like a tweet or a Facebook link or something. But like every little bit counts, you know, and like, so yeah, like blog posts, showing up in other, like what doesn't work though, is, and this happens on my site all the time, I mean it happens all over the place, because like there are a ton of Fiverr VAs like spamming this stuff all over. People will come onto my site and then leave a comment on my blog post that's basically just a link to their site. Like they're trying to hijack my audience now, but like, you know, you kind of go in there, monitor it, say like, you know, that comment spam. Google also knows that if people are like using these weird like referral links in the comment section of a blog, it's probably not like that valid. It's, you know, probably like a little spammy, stuff like that. So yeah, like the hacks, like the ways to get around it are becoming like more difficult. But like if you're able to like organically build up links in other sites and whatnot, that stuff like works super well. Yeah.
How important is marketing using Twitter and some of the other, not like Pinterest's pictures basically?
So we focus primarily on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn sometimes. We don't really do much Twitter at all. Like I'm a big fan of Twitter, but the fact is that just unless you're like in politics or tech, Twitter's like just not used that much. So it's we don't typically use it. Pinterest, we don't bother with that at all. Although it's not that it's not valuable. I mean, if you have a lot of Twitter followers and a lot of Pinterest followers, like that'll work really well. But just as far as, so the problem is that a lot of people don't have the platform already. Like if you came to me and said, Nick, we have like 5,000 subscribers on Pinterest, like we're super active, have a huge community, then I'll be like, okay, let's throw some ads out there and try to build it. But like if you're starting from scratch, it's probably just not worth it. And so the same thing happens with Twitter. Like it's not usually worth it, but everyone's on Facebook. Like everyone uses Google, you know. So like they're already built, they're like established. Then building on top of that is just a lot easier than kind of from nothing. But I recommend Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter at Nick Calabro. You know, Pants is on Twitter.
Yeah. I have Twitter too. But yeah. But what you were saying earlier, though, basically you want to write out like an FAQ section as a post, though.
As a.
Right? 'Cause you were saying like a question and then answer the questions within the question.
Yeah. So like.
It's like an FAQ section, but a post.
If you have like an FAQ on your site, like those pages like rank really well sometimes. Yeah, because I'm searching for something like about whatever certain industry, and then it shows up in that FAQ. Like that's why like about pages, like start here pages, FAQs. Those are like typically some of the highest ranking pages in the website, just because they have all that content that's like.
Can FAQ questions lead to a blog?
Absolutely, yeah. And you can basically have an FAQ that says, you know, whatever the FAQ is, and then says like, here, read more about it in the blog. Like it could be that simple, and like that's not going to harm you for like having that link in there, because it's leading back to your website. So it's only, you know, it's only really helping you out at the end of the day. Yeah.
Good. Some good information.
Yeah, I'm glad. Of course. I don't even know. Okay, so we're like,
Stuff to think about.
yeah. All right. Ultimately, anything else? AJ, Boris. All right, good. Yeah, I mean, guys, feel free to email me. We'll, you know, again, I'm trying to make this a very consistent thing. So at least until like the holidays roll around, every Monday it's gonna be, and then we'll figure out a new strategy for the new year. But there's always stuff to talk about with this stuff. There's like always like new developments. Like Facebook is changing every day. There's always new like case studies to discuss and stuff like that. So hoping that we able to generate a lot of leads together.
Awesome.
Yeah, Boris, I didn't get your card. Jeff, you got my card, right?
I got your card.
Okay.
I'll email you or text you, check out Garden State Home Buyers.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to do that?
I'm definitely eager to see you at the website, yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for stopping
Going
by.
to Costa Rica tomorrow.